All right. Woohoo!
Yo!
Live.
Yo!
Hey. Back again, the three of us. It's been a while.
It has.
It has, yeah.
Aren't you lucky?
Well, actually, it's not that long ago we were on a bus together. So, I mean...
That's right, yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Welcome. If you're joining us to hear about Irish whiskey experiences, you're very welcome. If you've stumbled upon this room by accident, God help you. We don't know what you're going to do, but welcome. We're going to talk about buses and experiences and have a bit of crack and talk about what's in our glass. Lauren, you are the host tonight. You're in charge.
That's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah.
So yes, welcome everybody. Good to see you all. Good to see some familiar faces. Tonight in my glass, fitting with what we're about to talk about, I have a drop of Yellow Spot, which is recently become my favorite spot, actually overtaking Blue. So that is what I'm sipping on this evening. What about you two?
I have a drop of Bart's blended Irish whiskey from Lochary Distillery, a 5-part complex blend. That is a really good blended whiskey. Another one of our stops on the bus in August.
And I've gone with the new Bowan PX. So that's the one that I'm on there. Cracking whiskey. I mean, they brought out 3 new releases there. The Madeira PX and Oloroso, I think was the third one. The PX is by far my favorite. It's hard to get wrong as well. The Madeira is a good one as well, but Bowan's another one of our many stops on the bus as well. So I thought I'd get that into me.
That's a stunning whiskey. I forgot I had a bottle of that actually. Yeah. Might need to go and dig it out eventually.
And it's an aesthetically pretty bottle.
Their labels are beautiful. I thought they actually nailed that release, I think, from a price point as well. It was fantastic. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Just simple, clean, really lovely. Yeah.
The barley on the bottle, I think that's a lovely sort of
I know.
thing. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
But the Bowan distillery is a very pretty distillery itself. I mean, the glazed front on it as well. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and with the distillery, the stills up in the front as well. It's nice to see.
It's gorgeous. They have such a bigger space than you would think as well when you walk in for experiences, funnily enough. But it's it's beautiful, and they've some amazing casks aging in their warehouses. They do some really interesting releases and vintage mash bills and whatnot. Yeah, they're doing great things down in Drogheda.
It's up in Drogheda for me.
It is, yeah, up in Drogheda for you, down in Drogheda for us.
Oh, you see, we're funny here in Dundalk, so we go up the north and down to Dublin. You see, so that doesn't work for me. But I think you go up to Drogheda, but down to Dublin. So I don't know how that works.
Nobody goes across to Drogheda. No.
No.
If you're just joining us, you're very welcome. Bob Hurley can't see anything. Bob, is that how many whiskeys are you in there, Bob? How many kind of guilties are you in?
Can't confirm.
Bob can't see anything. Bob, take off those glasses. Take off those sunglasses, Bob. You might see.
Can't confirm we're all very much here. That sounds like a you problem, Bob.
We have we've some familiar faces. We have some new names here. Tony joined an hour early and blamed me for joining an hour early because I was an hour late for my story to sip tasting a few weeks ago. I'll never live that down. Tony, don't worry. We're all human. And Steve is here. Steve Smathers on a previous bus. Cian Boland's here. Hi, Cian. Greg Anderson, many previous buses he's been on. Douglas Boyles, you're very welcome. Bob, still wandering around in the dark there. Johnny McNally, you're very welcome as well. And if you're watching this on replay, you'll miss the live crack, but we're going to dive into the itinerary. We're going to talk about a new approach to this as well tonight, aren't we, Lauren? To the bus.
Yes, we are. So yeah, I mean, we may as well address that now. We have, in the past with our whiskey buses, we have been honestly inundated with requests from the Irish locals in the areas where we are hosting an experience to be able to take part in said experience. And in the past, we have not really looked at that. We haven't explored that as an option, but we will try that out for the upcoming bus in August. And even not even just for Irish, anyone who is perhaps over from the US that is already in Ireland across the dates of our whiskey bus, which is the 16th to the 23rd of August. Some people have often said that they would love to join, but they can't do the full 7 days. So what we're looking at this year is splitting the bus up a little bit as well. So let's say, for example, you're in Dublin, which is where we start off the bus this year. You're in Dublin for a couple of days and you want to join our experiences with the spot whiskies and Boan. You can absolutely do that this time. Or if you're in Athlone for a few days, you want to join us in Lochrie and Kilbeggan, that's possible. If you want to join one day, that's also possible as well. So it's new for us. We're going to give it a go in August and see how it goes, but we're really just listening to the markets and what people want. And we do listen to what you say, contrary to what you might believe. And yeah, we're adapting to new climates as well, I think is fair to say. So yeah, we're going to look at that for August.
We also didn't realize just how much work there was involved in launching 2 buses and a cruise in 2025. And I feel like this bus got lost in the announcements, which is now going all the way back to probably last year.
Yep.
We announced this. And we want to revisit it because we have spaces on the bus and we'd love to fill it up, and we want to bring people to these small distilleries who are facing uncertain times of the future, at the moment, and we want to make sure they have a chance to share what's going on with them, with you all, who are great ambassadors for Irish whiskey yourselves. So yeah, we walk through the itinerary. I think I'm very excited about August. It's an amazing itinerary. It's one we've never done before. We're going to places I've never even been to. Lauren has been to all of them. Anthony, I think you've probably been to all of them, but there's a few there that I haven't been to, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The things too as well is that we've always nearly been constrained by even some of the venues that we've been to, that we couldn't pad more into. I know that's been a challenge for us previously, or we'd already committed to a ceiling number. Whereas now it's great with the partners that we have, that we can sort of say, listen, how about bringing a few extra people? And again, I think, as you said, the amount of, is it derogatory to call them locals?
No. I mean, Scott and Rick, I don't know if they're on tonight, but they referred to them as natives. So
natives.
Yes.
And again, I don't know if that's going to be,
that's not. It's not the greatest reflection on us as people that we're referred to as the natives, but we're not walking around with spears and things.
It's not wrong though, but yeah, I know what they meant.
well, Barry, I mean, there's some spots in Cork now, I think they are walking around with spears and stuff, but it's okay.
That's a different tour.
Yeah. For this bus, we're actually safe because we're not going near Cork. Everybody will be delighted to know as well. So that's good news. Yeah.
Well, okay. Cork jokes aside, we did have some crack on the last bus in March where we had twice as many Irish on the bus that we've ever had previously. We had 2 Irish people. We've only ever had 1 Irish person on the bus. And there's no, it's funny because I think you've all heard the same. I get the same thing at, if I go to a whiskey event or there's a whiskey festival and people say, when are you ever doing a whiskey bus for Irish people? And we say, so what's stopping? We've never limited it to one nationality. It just so happens that American fans tend to fill up the buses very quickly, and the Irish either don't book it or they feel like I can do it myself. In any case, we've always been available to everybody, but we want to figure out how can we get more people to more distilleries and get more people in front of Irish whiskey. That's all we're trying to do with this bus. So it'll be an interesting and fun way for people to meet, hopefully, the natives. And while meeting the native Irish makers at the same time.
That actually was, to be fair, that was a piece of feedback that we did get, was anyone who's on the bus wants to meet more locals, meet more Irish people, which is a fair request. So, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
again,
but Lauren, we've never. I mean, we do allow them to get off the bus. I mean, that's one of the things
We
that we're
do.
allowed them to do. I
we
mean,
do.
and they're allowed to speak 12 words to the natives. I mean, as well. So, I mean, we're going to open that up. We are really broadening the horizons this
It's
time.
not
as
a
well.
drive-through safari park where you
Yeah.
just wave at the locals out the window of the bus.
Driving through Dublin, like, hey. Oh, brilliant.
I think this time we'll let them interact with the natives, which is a real.
We roll
Yeah.
down a window. Yeah.
We don't just drive past the distilleries and wave in at people. We'll actually go in this time. Yeah.
Yeah. We are a very progressive company like that. I mean, we let the natives out of their cages and they're allowed to interact with people. I mean, it's great, and we'll have translators there and everything. It'll be brilliant.
Perfect.
So let's move on from Ireland, the zoo, to the itinerary for a great week. Many of you who are here have seen our escapades online. You followed on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. You followed our journeys. You've seen the crack we have. I think anyone who's been in a bus will echo this sentiment. There is no other set of experiences like we put together because we're as mad as a bag of rabbits and we want to do something that's very, very different. And we don't want you to be able to get access to any of these things any other way, only through us. And we've come up with some wild experiences in the past, and this bus is no different. And we would love you to join us. So, Lauren, how is this week going to go?
So, as I said, Barry, you made a good point, and I'm just going to echo it again. We did launch this bus at exactly the same time as the bus we've just hosted in March and the cruise. And genuinely, we'll hold our hands up and say the cruise overshadowed everything else because it was something new, it was exciting, and that's completely fine. But what we don't want is this itinerary to get lost in anything else, because it really is special. We're going to distilleries that honestly, they of course allow visitors to have a tour there, but they don't really host an experience as such like we would do and we have in the past. So we've worked really hard with each of these locations to offer things that are just not publicly available, as we always do and we pride ourselves in. So it will take place from the 16th to the 23rd of August. So in 5 months' time. Yep. End of summer, great time to be in Ireland. Hopefully we'll get a nice mild week. We've been really lucky with the weather on the buses recently. And our first stop of the week, which is super easy and super handy for everyone because most people fly into the city, is Dublin. So we'll be spending the 16th to the 18th, 2 nights in Dublin in the Mespil Hotel. This is a lovely hotel. It's in a great location. Searson's Bar, which is one of the best whiskey bars, not only in Dublin, but in Ireland, is literally around the corner. It is a hot spot for customers, brands, everybody after Whiskey Live in Dublin. It's such a great spot, amazing selection of whiskey, and it's right around the corner. You can roll out of the hotel and roll around the corner into the bar. So that will be our home for a couple of nights. I've stayed here. I don't know about you two.
It's gorgeous, great location, right on the canal, right on the edge of the canal. You can walk into the city, and I mean everything's on your doorstep. As you say, Searson's is only around the corner with a full Middleton collection, or full Middleton collections.
Two full sets, yeah.
2 full Middleton collections, and they've got their own Middleton single cask as well. Massive selection. Bill Chalk, who is Charlie Chalk's son, runs it there, does a great job, and is always very accommodating, particularly to whiskey fans. I mean, really loves to see the whiskey fans coming in, so it's a great place.
Yeah, he's even reached out to us and said that he would love to host us for a little something. So no doubt we'll be sitting on a high stool at the bar in there a couple of the nights that we're in Dublin, certainly. And then the first night that we're there, I mean, if you're going to have a welcome night in Dublin, you can't really do it any better than this. And it is with the Spot whiskies. So we will be joined and hosted by Jonathan and Jonathan Mitchell and his son Robert, 6th and 7th generation of the Mitchell family. They will be hosting our tasting underneath the streets of Dublin, in the cellars where the spot whiskies once matured. So spot whiskies, Mitchell and Son, are really one of Ireland's last remaining whiskey bonders, wine merchants. They would have originally sent their casks of sherry, port, whatever it may be, to the Jameson distillery on Bow Street, filled it with spirit, and they would have brought them back to age in their network of underground cellars. And we will be going into those cellars for a tasting with Jonathan and Robert themselves. These two are gentlemen, no nicer men you will ever meet, and they really do not host events. They're usually hidden in the shops, working hard behind the scenes. They're not really at the forefront of the brand, but they are coming out for us, and it's going to be an amazing way to welcome everyone in Dublin.
Like, their names are on every bottle. The
Yep.
Mitchell name is on the bottom of every bottle of spot whiskies, and they are the kindest gentlemen. They're so excited about this. Lauren, when we met them in Glassdool, they couldn't have been more excited about doing this.
Yeah, they brought us up to their kind of little boardroom, meeting room, office situation upstairs. They were bringing out archives from the 1800s of old receipts and old menus and prices of whiskey and things, and old green spot bottles. It was amazing. They're delighted. They cannot wait to host us. And not only will we be having the tasting in the cellars underneath Dublin, we'll be going to their brand new shop, which only opened October of last year, the end of last year, the Vaults, which is a beautiful shop. It's almost like, it really is in an old cellar. It's gorgeous, and we'll be going in there as well to see the full spot whiskey display that's recently been installed too. So they really have just kind of opened the doors and opened their arms to hosting an experience with us, and we're delighted that they have.
I've been in the cellars once for the launch of Gold Spot, and it is just a time capsule. Since they moved all of the barrels out of there, probably in the 60s and 70s, they got rid of them and moved them down to Middleton to mature. It's untouched. Like, you're rubbing against the walls where there's dust and webs, and you're in, but like, it's just, you look around, you realize it's a warren, it's a rabbit's warren of tunnels that apparently, if you follow the right tunnels and underneath the streets, you can connect from one side of the city to the other. Such are these warrens, and they're privately owned today. They're owned by a doctor in Dublin who owns the buildings above them, but he'll let us in and give us rare access thanks to Jonathan and Robert.
Yeah, amazing. It's a massive one as well. And I mean, a lot of the with the new development that's been going on in Dublin in the recent decades, a lot of the tunnels were actually lost, or, as you say, are out of bounds. So many of them are out of bounds. So to get access to them, I've been lucky enough to be down in one or two of them as well. And it's just, it really is a throwback to the history of Dublin as well. So it is really, really good. It's special for us to get down there and to be with the guys whose names are on the bottles as well. Yeah, I think it's a real good one to kick off the. What a way to start! I mean, day one.
Oh, honestly,
yeah.
And Steve, if you book it, Steve, you book your trip, Steve, I'll make sure you get a drop of the Red Spot single cask. How about that? As simple as that.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're going to start in Dublin, you may as well start with an old Dublin brand. So I'm really excited for that one. I can't wait for that. Probably one of the most exciting kind of starts of a trip we've ever had.
Amazing. It's going to be amazing. And just how often do you get to meet people whose family go back 135 years in the whiskey business? They go back 180 years in the world of wine bonding and importing and confectionery in Dublin. You walk down Grafton Street in Dublin and you look at McDonald's, 10 to 11 Grafton Street, walking down from Stephen's Green behind you on your right-hand side, one of the busiest McDonald's in Europe today. That was Mitchell & Son's confectionery shop and eventually their wine and whiskey shop back in the late 1800s. So the history is just unbelievable to get access to this family, and they're the kindest people. We're just going to have the best time.
We really will. Day two, Anthony, you're close to Bowan. You were raving about it earlier. So
again, from one legacy family, I suppose, to another one. I mean, this is truly a family business or a family fair if there was ever one. I mean, the Coonies, Pat Cooney himself, I mean, is a legend in the drinks industry in Ireland. They're so well established. They've literally touched every, part of between beers to soft drinks to spirits to ciders. I mean, and everything in between. He's been so influential in the drinks industry, and he's lucky. I mean, it must be an absolute privilege for him to have his kids around him and in the business with him. And they're all a force of nature. They really are. They are just entertainers. I mean, I've been with Pat and James when they've started whistling. I mean, it's just it's phenomenal. It's a great. They're just a brilliant family to be around. They're so into it. They're so want to tell you their story. They so want to share everything they're doing with them. Peter, Sally Ann, they're all brilliant. I love spending time with the kids.
Yeah.
I really, really do. They're a force of nature.
Yeah,
they really are.
are.
And they're dog lovers, which is always a bonus in my world. I mean, they really are. They've dogs walking around the distillery. Unfortunately, Sally Ann lost her dog there not too long ago. Passed away after, decades with him or a long time with him, years with him. But it's a great place to be. It really is. And that's not even starting talking about how ahead they are with their stills, with the mechanisms that they put in the stills, with the nanotechnology and the cooling systems, and then the cask management. I mean, what they source is just off the Richter scale, truly off the Richter scale.
What
Lauren,
amazed? Yeah,
Lauren,
what amazed?
Sorry, what are we doing that day there, Lauren, in Boan?
Yeah, so one thing I will say, which links to what we're doing, is what absolutely amazed me. I visited Boan last year and had a chat with the team to piece together this experience. And something which I found really unique was they say that Anthony mentioned their cask management. So they have a plethora of amazing casks in their warehouses on site, and they actually almost do it in reverse. They work with the cask and any kind of aromas or flavor profiles, whatever they think might come of that cask. They essentially create a spirit that they think matches the cask, which just shows how committed they are to producing amazing whiskies and amazing spirits. So what we're doing that day is the Cooney family will be there to greet us, which is amazing. And again, Boan is a distillery that's only really getting there with their kind of visitor experience. I think they only offer tours 1 day a week, and you have to actually inquire if there's availability. So again, we have the distillery entirely to ourselves on that Sunday, our second day on the bus. We'll be going into the warehouses, going deep into the warehouses, sampling some of those incredible casks that they have on offer. Including the releases, their core releases last year, the PX, the Oloroso, and the Madeira. And we will also be joined by Pat and James, and they will actually be whistling. So they are champion whistlers, hence the name Whistler. That's where it was named after. It was inspired by them. They'll be whistling in the warehouse. So think of the acoustics of that. There'll be hairs on the back of your neck. It'll be incredible, sipping a whiskey, listening to them, father and son, beautiful. And then we're doing something really, really special, which is a dinner at sunset. So if you're familiar with Boan, you'll know that they have a massive focus, and they often release their whiskies on the summer and winter solstice. So we're going to actually have a dinner at sunset in the distillery. Think of the light hitting off and reflecting off the copper pot stills. It will be magical. So that's our day there in a nutshell. It will be amazing.
It is amazing for the fact that they don't do tours. You have to make a special arrangement if you can get in. We've all had many conversations with a family member or many family members over the past few months, and they keep mentioning the bus. They keep mentioning our visit. And it's an experience. It's a great first distillery for us to visit that week, because it is a spectacular setup that's like no other. And to get the hands-on access with the family that built it, that run it day to day, priceless.
I was lucky. We had an event with them some time back, a few years ago, and Pat was there himself at it, and James, and they whistled the parting glass. Well,
Oh wow.
Lauren, you said that the hairs stand. It is literally just,
Yeah.
it's spine tingling, and it's
Amazing.
so just phenomenal to be in their company. And as I say, Pat himself is just a force of nature. I don't know what age the man is, but he really is he's just such a character. He really is. And you can talk to him like anything else. And I mean, again, that's one of the things that this tour, I mean, there's two experiences, and both of them, the access that you're getting with Irish whiskey experiences, I don't think there's anywhere else.
No.
There's not. I don't think.
Nope.
I
Nope.
know there
Yeah.
is nowhere else doing this.
No.
Just
Nowhere.
no one doing this.
And if you've joined us late, one of the things we mentioned at the start, we'll mention it again throughout, we'll mention it at the end. With this whiskey bus, we are going to not just offer you 7 days where you can join us, and we'd love to host you for all 7 days. You press one button on our website and we take care of the rest for you. We'll also split it up into a number of experiences, including Boan. So if you happen to be in Ireland, or if you'd like to combine a few different experiences together, we will be able to do that for you. So we're working to expand our access with this whiskey bus. So yeah, that's a great first full day. Let me put up our next slide. And
yes, we're moving on. Yeah, so the first 2 nights will be in Dublin, 16th to the 18th. Then the following 2 nights, 18th to the 20th, will be in Athlone. So I would honestly say we kind of named this bus Heartland Tales, because we are right smack bang in the middle of Ireland when you're in Athlone. It is, I would say, a lesser visited part of Ireland, hence why there was a big tourism campaign a few years ago about the hidden heartlands to really encourage people to visit these areas. Athlone's a great spot, so we'll be there for 2 nights in the Radisson Blu Hotel. Again, really centrally located, as all of our hotels always are. Stumbling distance of the local bars, one of them here being Sean's Bar, which I believe it's claimed to be anyway. I know there's a few oppositions to it, but it's the world's oldest bar, I think. Certainly Ireland's oldest bar, which is right around the corner. Again, they have their own whiskey, Sean's Irish Whiskey. They have a great pint of Guinness, and it's around the corner, one of the best bars in Ireland.
It must have been terrible for you when you were researching this, Lauren, because I know you really don't enjoy going and drinking a pint of Guinness anywhere at all. I mean, it's terrible that me and Barry force you to do these things, because, I mean, it just must have been so bad.
Listen, somebody has to do it, you know, somebody has to do it, honestly.
You are a true martyr to the cause. We all applaud you. You're just, I mean...
And thank you for giving us your salary back those days when you were there, because you felt it would have been too much to pay you as well.
Yeah. Barry, she didn't.
She didn't? Oh no. She told me she did.
We had the beer as well. Yeah. We probably bought the pints as well, Barry. That's, you know.
Listen, I'm not that bad. No,
I don't know.
Yeah, the expenses report was, I mean, there was reams. There was trees felled to print it off.
Guinness.
If anybody wants Lauren's job, you'd have to pry it from her hands. There isn't a hope of her letting go of it.
Yeah.
Listen, if it wasn't for me going on the road, none of these experiences would come together. So, you know.
Well, they'd come together, but they wouldn't be great.
Great.
Me and Barry did do one. I mean, we
did one without you. Yeah.
We definitely done the first one. We were drunk for most of it. It was great. It went off a storm. I mean, everybody had a great time. You know, that's really. But
I mean, nobody died. Like, it was, in that sense, it was all right. Like, everybody did get home.
There was a few close calls.
We're talking about that. Okay.
Listen, we figured it out. We figured it out.
But listen, if you ever want anybody to go with you, the next time you're going, just give me and Barry a shout. We'll happily go and drink pints with you in the oldest bar in Ireland, or
on your dime.
You can sit in the back of the car, sure, and have car whiskies, and I'll drive everywhere. Yeah.
So we're centrally located in Athlone, and we're going to sprout out from there in different directions. The next stop is, I've got Bart's Irish whiskey here. I've got it here for a reason. The next day we're going to
Loughrea.
Hey, we've got Michael Clancy,
The
man on
audience.
the right there. He's in the crowd here. Michael is. He
How are you,
commented
Mike?
earlier.
One of the brand founders, along with his two siblings, Peter and Sheila. There we go. This day, this is going to be a fantastic day. And if I could describe this day in one word, I would say crack. Yeah. The crack that we will have on this day will be unbelievable. So we're going to visit Loughrea Distillery in Lanesborough. Beautiful part of the world, beautiful area, gorgeous scenery. We will be in the distillery itself, which, Mike, I remember you told me, and I actually was fascinated by this. You are the smallest GI compliant distillery in Ireland, and it is one of the smallest distilleries in Ireland anyway. It's tiny, and it's magnificent to see. It really, really is. Again, another family, which have been very grateful to open their arms to us visiting and hosting an incredible experience. So not only will we be in the distillery and trying some of the whiskies from the Bridge series, for example, Bart's, the Slingshot gin as well. Anthony, you don't know this yet, but we've actually offered you up as a target. We'll be getting slingshots, and you are the target for our slingshots.
That's not fair.
An apple off your head. You have to hit an apple off your head.
I mean,
you're the target.
There's a lot of me to hit, and could you not get like a wee skinny person or something? Barry's a lot narrower than me. That's not fair.
I'm not engaging in. We're not shaming anyone for their width, their narrowness.
This isn't shaming. This is abusing. Abusing, I tell you.
Well, you can stay at home if you want. We'll hit someone else.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay.
I did get a message here earlier today from Peter Clancy, who, just to describe the distillery, these are Peter's words. The current distillery, our micro distillery as we call it, is in a property which since the 1970s has served as a sweet shop, a motorbike and lawnmower shop, a supermarket, butchers, and now since 2018, Loughrea Distillery. We're actually the smallest verified whiskey distillery in Ireland. Yep,
there you go. It's fascinating to see. It really, really is. And obviously the name is inspired by the Loughrea, which we will also be going for a swim in with Peter.
Hey.
Hope the rest of the team joining us there as well. There's a theme here, a bit of cold water therapy. Now it'll be a little bit warmer in August than it was when we endured it a few weeks ago in West Cork. Peter is it a triathlete? Is that the right term for someone who does triathlons? I'm going to say it is anyway. He's a big fan of the swimming, the cold water swimming. So one of the founders of this brand will be joining us for a swim in Loughrea. We'll get a whiskey after to warm us up.
We're used to swimming. We've done some swimming in the past.
Yeah, no. Just hang on a second. Just hang on. Now, whoa. You subjected me to torture in Cork, and I was cold. I mean, again, cold, right? And now you've volunteered me to be a target for Slingshot.
Yeah.
And now again we're going into cold water. Just because Mr. Clancy decides that he wants to be a triathlon and do all that, can we not sort of stand on the shore and wave and with a nice whiskey in our hands and
this is why you're paid the big bucks. This is why you make so much money from this tour business.
Oh, all right. Yeah. We could talk.
Listen, I actually think this was Peter's idea. One, to use the slingshot, and two, to go in the water. So might have been Mike as well. I can't remember who it was, but it certainly wasn't me.
Again, that's not like Bob's saying time to start running. Bob's into his running, and I think every time that Bob's on a tour with us, I have to talk to Bob about his running. I mean, I don't think that's healthy. This being healthy and going for a run thing, it's not good for somebody's health.
Bob's a machine. He's up earlier than everybody else on the whiskey bus going for a run around the
city. I will say that we were very worried about Anthony, the colour he turned after swimming in West Cork. He went. Normally, you have to go into hot water to turn the colour of pink. He went into.
Yes, I'm like a reverse lobster. I was just like pink. It was just. It's just not on.
It was rough. We all did it though. In fairness, we did it, but it was stinging. Like we were stinging. Anyway, it'll be warmer in August. Anyway,
that's going to be a great day.
Just
to
as a
top off
question,
that day, the
is
day's not
Lochry
done.
heated?
We're going to heat Lochry. Yeah, we're going to heat Lochry.
I'm all right with that then. That's okay.
Perfect. We'll get under lock heating.
Yes,
right.
So that's okay. Go for that.
We'll turn it into a massive sauna, a jacuzzi.
Apparently
it's topical according to Mike. Yeah.
There we go. Half the town will be there as well. Now there's only 8. There's only 8 people in the town, admittedly, so 4 of them will be turning up to watch.
There's another way to get closer to the locals. There you go. They'll be swimming as well.
The natives will be coming out. The natives
are they now kept corralled? No.
That's frowned upon.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, the day's not even over there. The day is not even over there. So after we see the distillery, we get a bit of whiskey pre and post swim. We target Anthony with our slingshots. We will be getting on a boat, which will take us from Lanesborough back round to Athlone. So we actually won't be getting the bus back to Athlone. We'll be getting a boat for a bit of crack on there, a bit of history about the area, a barbecue, I believe, as well, and a bit of whiskey, which will bring us back to Athlone. Still doesn't end there. We continue the crack into the evening in Sean's bar, as we said earlier, Brilliant Bar, and we'll be tasting some more whiskey in there too. So this is it's a full day, and it's an amazing day, and it will be the best fun and a great way to highlight a brilliant brand. I'm very excited. Barry on a boat, yes. Lauren on the loch.
I just have pictures there now of Michael taking notes of all the things that you're promising that we're doing. And he's going, all right, yeah. I suppose we better do that. Yeah.
Blame Dara. Mike, blame Dara. This is what we've agreed. It'll be brilliant. I cannot wait for that day. Such a full day. It'll be fantastic. I really will be.
Just as a question, how are we getting the bus on the boat?
Apparently there's a flotation device that it can be towed behind. So we're working on that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're working on that. Yeah.
Even more than buses of everything.
And then that night when we go back to Athlone, we can have a bit of crack in the pubs. We can go to
bit of music in there as well. Yep, there'll be music in the bar. We'll be upstairs or outside in the back somewhere. With the team, with the guys there, having the crack. It'll be a great day. And who doesn't love a boat and a bit of whiskey on a boat, bit of history, bit of scenery.
100%. Chris, great question about the experiences. So we're finalizing right now on the week which of the experiences can be broken up so that we can give more people access. Lauren's working with the distilleries and the brand homes over the next week to just finalize capacity numbers, and then we'll come back and work out what a cost might be. So we'll put them up as individual experiences and keep an eye out. We'll send you an email anyway, Chris, once we have that done.
And there'll also be as well, Chris, just to further emphasize that what Barry said, there'll be different kind of tiers in a way. So let's say someone's in the area and they want to do the experience, but they don't necessarily want to stay over. Maybe they've got their own accommodation sorted. That's also fine as well. But if they don't, they can add on the accommodation too. So we're working on it at the minute. We'll have it probably finalized in the next week or so, and then we'll send out a newsletter for everyone.
Jeff, Jimmy, no boats.
Exactly that.
Well, Jeff, we all of our experiences going forward will have boats for one reason.
Poor Jeff can't even get on the cruise. He
Jeff
can't even
like
go on the cruise.
Jeff doesn't like boats, so we keep putting boats in all of our experiences.
Actually, there's one as well. Like, I mean, how are we ever going to get him sort of on the round Ireland cruise? That's going to be a real challenge. You're going to struggle with that one.
There's injections. There's injections for that. All right.
There's drugs for that. Anyway,
we're going to keep moving.
Moving on.
What's next?
We're getting sidetracked.
Wow.
So I visited Kilbeggan for the first time, I think 2 years ago. When I tell you that this is probably my favorite distillery experience in Ireland, that is no word of an exaggeration. This place is a living, breathing time capsule. It's just unbelievable. It's so old. Ireland's oldest distillery. Again, jury's out there. You can argue. I'm not paid to argue the Bushmills piece anymore. Ireland's oldest distillery. It's amazing. I was blown away by the history, how old it is. It's raw, it's authentic. Don't expect shiny, glamorous copper pot stills. It is just unbelievable. And the team there are so knowledgeable. They're so passionate. And again, yes, you can book tours in the distillery. You can do a tasting. What we are doing is another level, like we always aim to do. So the day at Kilbeggan is really special. They will be bringing out some old archives from the distillery. I think there's pay slips in there from staff who have worked there many, many decades ago, newspaper articles about the distillery. The master distiller will come out and address us as well. Again, he is not someone who really talks to the public. He's not included in the general tours. And Kilbeggan doesn't produce a lot of whiskey a year. When I was there, I think they mentioned it was about between 40 and 50,000 litres of new make a year. It's a very small scale production on the grand scheme of things. And we'll get the historical archives, and also we will be tasting some historical whiskies as well from the old John Locke distillery. Again, the team there have just been incredible to work with, and I cannot wait to go back there. It's amazing. Anthony, you've been, Barry, you haven't, is that right?
I am almost embarrassed to say I've never been to Kilbeggan. Yeah.
It's everything you're saying and some. I mean, even the photo that you have up there shows that, I mean, this isn't a purpose-built visitor experience. This is as raw as it gets. It is literally, you're in the old buildings. One of the old original coffee stills is out the back. I'm lucky enough to know David Quinn, who was one of the original managers who kept the place going when it was had closed down and that. And he's shared with me, I've tasted 63-year-old spirit that came out of the original Locks distillery. It is just everything you've said and some. I mean, it really is a time capsule. It's just, exactly that. It gets overlooked so many times.
It really does.
New distilleries and everything else. It really is. This is Ireland's distilling heritage. This is Ireland's distilling history. It is such a very special one to have.
It's kind of off the beaten path as well. So like you kind of have to make a point to actually go to Kilbeggan. And it's amazing, like seeing the old mash tun, the old fermenters, you can see the wheel there, the old mill, which actually could still work if it's obviously not in use anymore. But if it were, it's still fully functional. It's just unbelievable. It really, really is. It's going to be amazing. This is the historical day.
The warehouses, the whiskey that they've held over the years is just phenomenal. And there genuinely has been some true time capsules found in the warehouse when, in all the things. And I mean, for it to have survived, I mean, I can tell people one of the things that happened. There was so many of the old original crocks and casks smashed up when it was changing hands at various different, and so much of it was lost. So to have what we have out of it is nothing short of, phenomenal. Again, I've a great experience there, and it's a great one to have as well.
That's great. Can't wait for that day. It's going to be a big one.
Big one indeed.
And then from there, Lauren, where do we head?
From there, we head to the gorgeous Galway. So this, I think it's actually all three of us, one of our favourite cities in Ireland. Galway is an absolute hive of activity. It's a melting pot of culture, of people, of cuisine, everything. It's just amazing. And one of the requests, we were there last March. So this is the only part of the itinerary that we're going back to because of how positive the feedback was from last March. And one of the pieces of feedback was there wasn't enough time in Galway. So we're actually spending 3 nights here. So the last 3 nights of our trip will be in Galway, which is an amazing way to round it off. So we're literally going from east to west, Dublin, Athlone to Galway, right across Ireland. So we'll be staying in the Heartland Hotel. We stayed there last time as well. You could not be more centrally located. It's amazing. Again, you're in the very small circumference of one of Ireland's best whiskey bars, O'Connell's, just off Eyre Square. It's a fantastic, huge bar, amazing selection of whiskey, and you're about a 5-minute stroll from the likes of Sonny Malloy's, Garvin's, Feeney's. It's amazing. We actually have a full free day in Galway as well, with a little evening event too, just to let people just soak up the city. There's no better way to enjoy Galway than to just walk through the city, enjoy the music, the people spilling out of the bars, the crack, everything. So yeah, very excited to finish there.
And then so that day we leave from Kilbeg and we arrive in Galway, time to spend on your own at leisure to explore?
It should be, it's actually a Haskra on the way. It's maybe the wrong way around. There we go. You can take that one, Barry, if you want.
Yep. Day 6. So we are going to a Haskra distillery, which was a great visit last year. We had a lot of fun, and it's one of Ireland's newest distilleries. Garrett and Michelle McAllister are visionaries and risk takers. They've risked a lot of their own funds, their family's funds, and everybody else's funds to build an amazing distillery, which is one of Ireland's first eco distilleries, aiming to be carbon neutral. Incredible use of heat pumps to power the distillery, solar panels to power it on the roof, and they've built an incredible distillery in a village, really a village, within an old mill. So rather than knocking down a 200-year-old structure, they decided to take the much more difficult route of building inside the old structure, creating a modern distillery within an old site. And they have brought such life back to this village. They've built a restaurant, they've built a gift shop, they've built a cafe, they've built the distillery, they're building conference facilities out the back of the distillery, and they are hands-on. They're great crack. They love the banter, they love the chats, and they're going to we're going to play we're going to test your whiskey knowledge with the folk at the Haskra. They developed a great game that we'd never seen before on detecting, kind of identifying whiskies using words and cards. It's just a great game that we'll play there. We'll also sample their new make spirits coming off their stills. You get to taste the whiskey before it's whiskey. You get to taste it as a spirit. And what have I missed?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So Michelle and Gareth, again, they'll be leading the way. They'll be leading the tour. We'll go into the distillery itself, the new make spirit tasting, as Barry said. We'll then head over into the kind of little visitor area, restaurant area, which they are expanding. I've seen Chris has just mentioned that they are expanding it as well. So I think that'll be up and running by the time we get there in August. It was a great game, as Barry just said there. Basically, you're given a whiskey and a number of identifying cards, and you have to guess the age, the cask finish, and the style of whiskey, and they give out little spot prizes for whoever gets it right. It was the best crack, and the whole room was electric in March when we did it last year. And as we said, they're just great people. They're so welcoming, so receptive, and yeah, just absolutely love the crack. So it'll be a great little afternoon there on route to Galway.
One of the things I love about these guys as well is, I mean, they're literally bringing employment and jobs, so many jobs, to such a small little village in rural Galway that it's it is absolutely commendable, and the efforts that they go to sort of get things right. Yeah. It is just, I mean, the wheel that they have at the side of the water wheel that runs in the stream. I mean, they literally had it taken out. The old hub, the old piece that was there, taken out, fully restored, fully replaced, all the paddles, everything else, to go back in to literally to become a part of the power generation for the plant as well. I mean, everything they're doing it right. They really are. They've got it all right. And again, two hardworking people I don't think you'll find in the industry. They are literally, God love them. They literally globetrot selling their brand and their whiskies around the world. So they really do. They've great experience. And again, these are two people that didn't have to do this. I mean, they had very successful careers themselves, so they didn't need to do this. And this is really a passion project, and it shows. It translates into everything that they do. It's unbelievable.
And
You'll notice as well throughout the week, there's a solid theme of brand founders and owners that are actually coming to the forefront to host us, which is amazing. So real family ties. It's amazing to see because you cannot fake that level of passion that these people have for their brand. And it's actually, you're enamored with listening to them and their story, their journey. It's like no other. It really isn't. You cannot compare listening to someone who's quite literally, in some cases, built a distillery from the ground up.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Can I just clarify one thing? There's no necessity of me getting beaten, dunked, aimed at, wet. You're not having me snorkeling in the stream beside it.
But they do have a few new solar panels they want installed on the roof. They were wondering if you might do that.
I don't have to get on the wheel like a hamster or anything like that. No.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll write that down.
It's not a good idea. No.
In fairness, there is photographic evidence that arose on your birthday of you hitting Barry with a mash paddle at Killowen.
I've been hit with worse.
You know, so there's a theme here of beating each other, which
this isn't a competition, lads.
We're not allowed to beat. We're not allowed to beat you, Lauren.
Yeah. No, I'm not allowed to beat you. You're not allowed to. Yeah. More like spanking. Yes, it was. There was a bit of spanking involved, but hey, look.
Listen.
Right. What?
Anyway,
now, Lauren, we'll give this to you because Lauren's a big fan of this.
So basically, en route to Galway, we'll stop off at a Haskell and then we'll head into Galway City. There is a free day, so between the Wednesday and the Friday, our final day here with Michael, that will be a free day in Galway. Now, something I will say about the free day, there is an evening paint and sip event, which will be really cool with a girl called Laura Barry, who is originally from Cork. She lives in Dingle and she is an incredible artist. So I imagine what we'll do is we'll have a bottle of whiskey at the front and everybody has their own attempt at painting it while sipping on a whiskey.
I thought we were painting Anthony, no?
Oh, yeah, there we go. We can incorporate him as well. He can hold the whiskey.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Like one of your French girls. Yeah.
Like one of your Dundalk girls.
Yes. I'll be lying now with a strategically positioned bottle of whiskey. It'll have to be a big bottle now.
We're gonna have to up the price of this now if we have
I've got the bottle. I have the bottle here that we're painting. Look.
This will be good.
Jeez. Gary, I'm gonna have to get you a 4.5 litre bottle for that. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to double the price of the experience, Anthony, if we're painting you and those compromising positions.
I would pay good money to not see that. Oh, yeah. To see that.
Maybe. Anyway, so that'll be so you'll have the free day in Galway, the full day to explore, eat and drink and walk around Galway, walk around the city, and then we'll do that in the evening as well, which will be a great bit of crack. Whiskey, pints, paint and sip, unbelievable, with the local Irish artists as well. Final day is the 22nd. Yep. So the final day of our Whiskey Bus week, our final day in Galway will be spent with Michael Distillery. Now, again, leaning into, we'll maybe talk about this very slightly, but what's inspired our kind of repositioning of the Whiskey Buses for next year, for 2026, is experiences like this. So experiences where we bring you closer literally to the land and the landscape that has shaped a whiskey brand and is linked to their history, has always been the experiences that are the highlights throughout the week. So again, we hosted this experience with Michael in March last year, and I don't think any of us have ever felt as connected to Ireland and Irish whiskey as we did out in the bog in Connemara that day. So founder of Michael, Pádraig Grealish, he will be joining us in the bog. I know that means something entirely different for our US friends, a peat bog in Connemara. And we will be cutting turf which they use to produce their poaching. They use that in the production of their poaching, Mickle poaching. We'll be cutting turf. We'll be sipping on poaching Irish coffees that are produced with the distilled water in the bog, the distilled bog water. Probably one of the best Irish coffees I've ever had, I won't lie. And it just really brings us back to the core of the brand. Padraig and Mickle, the brand, is named after his great-great-great-grandfather, Mickle McCara, who was distilling poaching illicitly in the fields of Connemara as early as 1848. So we're getting right back to the core of the brand, the nature of the brand, and it's just an amazing experience. It really is so authentic, so raw, and to have, again, the founder of the brand out there as well is incredible. We'll then go from there back to the distillery. We'll see the distillery in the back of the Oslo Bar in Salt Hill in Galway, 10 minutes outside of the city. Very small distillery. You wouldn't know it was there unless you were in the industry or you were in the know. Right at the back of the bar. And we'll see how they produce their poaching and whiskey in there, learn a little bit more about the brand and sip some whiskey. Brilliant day.
It's going to be a great end to the week. And you're kind of bookending this whole week with two very historic, very just integral pieces of the whiskey industry, the Spots, the Mitchells to kick it off, and then going back to the land to the turf cutting, something that's been done for hundreds of years in Ireland, from bogs that are 10,000 years old. It's just the best start and the best finish to a great week. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to do this week myself. Now, do I have to pay for this week as well, or can I just come along for nothing, or how does this work?
We'll let you off this time.
Okay.
I don't think we, and I mean, as individuals and collectively, we got as many interactions with people and points of contact from people just applauding what we done with Mickle in the bus, because it was literally probably one of the greatest things that I've ever experienced. I mean, again, growing up in rural Ireland, going to the bog to cut turf was a threat. It was a punishment. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't behave, that's what you ended up doing. And I don't think I've ever enjoyed anything as much. It really was. It was a true connection. It just brought us back to everything, and you can see that's what's in them. That's what's in the brand. That's what's in Porrick. That's what Jimin. That's what them all over there. It really is such a part of their history, such a part of their story, but also part of us all, as Barry said. And it really is great to be doing that again, because I think
you're right.
People, yeah.
I think it wasn't it Cork Whiskey Fest? Yeah, we went on to Cork Whiskey Fest after the March bus last year, just after we'd hosted the Mickle experience. And you're right, Anthony, the amount of people who came up to us and said that's probably the greatest activation I've ever seen, linked to a brand. It was so inherently linked to them as a brand. It was amazing. And I was in Galway there probably just over a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago or so. And I called into Mickle with my parents because they'd never been before. And Jessica, their visitor experience manager, told me that people every single day come into them and ask, can they do the bog experience? But obviously you can only do it with us. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the traction that got and the reach it got. So it's brilliant.
I think that might be one as well, that a lot of people will be definitely asking about, just, can they do that part of it as well? If they unfortunately, if they can't join us for the week or something like that. I mean, it's definitely going to be the one, because again, so many people will want to do something like that. It really is just and it's the maddest, simplest thing in the world. But wow, it really is such a great experience. I mean, it really is. I've tried to replicate it. It's not quite the same standing out in a bog on your own.
No.
Without the lovely lull of the musicians coming from the background and sipping on a poaching Irish coffee, not the same.
And having Porrick there cutting the turf, I mean, with the Slán. I mean, again, I sort of was cracking the whip at Katie to try and get her to dig harder, but wasn't the novelty was gone out of it, you know.
So what we're going to do with this week is, if you've just joined us late, we're obviously open for bookings on irishwhiskeyexperiences.com. We'd really love you to join us. We're offering this up as a 7-day experience on our website. Soon we will break that up into individual days and packages for 1 to 2 days if you want, or 3 experiences, and we'll work with you. So if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat, or if any of you want to talk to us about this tomorrow, the next day, let us know. Send us a message, comment here. Lauren will give you a shout. We can talk through all of your options. But yeah, we're going to be putting a lot of work into selling the remaining places on this bus now over the coming weeks. So we'd love you to, if you're on the fence at all, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you. We'll give you a great experience.
I don't think, and I said this to you guys in one of our recent meetings, I don't think, and it's not a brag or anything like that, but I think everybody really comes away from our week-long experiences with truly something memorable out of it. You know, maybe not everything is for absolutely everybody. And that you're always going to, I mean, if we get 100% strike rate, I would be impressed. I really am. But I think we're very, very close to it. I think everybody says as the week goes on, you are just outdoing yourselves, excelling yourselves. And it really is. And I mean, then unfortunately, they have to spend a week with you two. I mean, I had to be there, obviously. I mean, I'm the center of attraction for all of these people.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
You know, they have to be there. You two, Garys, have to be there to sort of, well, save me, I think, is mainly.
And also not let your head get too big with all the love and affection.
You know, I mean, modesty is one of my other traits as well as brilliance, you know. But I mean, look, I have to carry it's okay. I'm okay with that.
Anthony has a unique ability to make somehow, I don't know how he does it, but me and Lauren might be spending, I don't know, we do all the kind of well, listen now, me and Lauren have to do all the hard work of laying down the rules when people first arrive in the bus and telling people how, you know, here's the things you must abide by, safety, etc. Then all of a sudden, Anthony pops a photograph into the group chat. He's after arranging the hottest day of the year for our arrival into Dingle and says, by the way, I've got the sun organized for you down here. And then suddenly everybody loves Anthony and they don't think anything of me and Lauren anymore after Anthony turns up.
Hang on. Just for clarity, just because you put in all the work and the months in advance of getting it all ready and you know, planning it all to a T and making sure that the itineraries are right and everybody's arriving at the right time and there's a bus there to collect them. Look, don't diminish my role in just ensuring that the weather was right. I did that. I bought some water and
look.
I'm sure I've done something else, but like I was there. Like, you know, I mean, my role is very important in this. I keep people in actually, anybody who's been on the bus can't argue with this. I keep them on the straight and narrow.
Sure, you do.
Yeah.
I teach them swearing.
It takes a village. It takes a village.
I teach them how to swear a lot, and then I teach them how to swear a lot. Yeah, I'm very good.
You didn't swear that much in March. I'll give you that.
That's because he got an HR infraction notice.
Give you that.
I had to sit myself down and have a very stern word with myself.
Folks, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll wrap this up in a minute, but we wanted to walk through the itinerary. I know a lot of you probably missed it, and we've found some new friends since we first shared it, and we wanted you to see it too. We want to get to know you. We want to get to introduce you to things. We're the last whiskey bus. I know, Lauren, we had the chat about how it reinvigorated our pride again, like it always does, in the Irish product, just a product that is Ireland. And I felt so proud and so elated after the week as to just knowing what we're selling. And nothing's hard to sell when you're so proud of it and you believe in it. And the last whiskey bus did exactly that for us.
And the thing is as well, like when you go to these places, you're genuinely inspired, and that's no word of a lie. You're inspired to learn more. You want to learn more maybe about this specific brand. you have the opportunity to chat to the people who make the whiskey, who founded the brand, whatever it may be, but you genuinely come away thinking, I'm so lucky to work in an industry like this. You really, really do. It makes you so proud of Ireland, so proud of Irish whiskey. The feeling is unmatched. The feeling that we get certainly after a whiskey bus as well. So we take as much passion and pride in it and enjoyment as you do. And for a lot of the cases, we know what the experience will be a lot of these times, but we sometimes have never done it ourselves. So it's even new to us. We organize it, we know what it will be, but sometimes the brands even surprise us as well, coming out with an amazing pour or a bottling of something that we didn't know about. It really is a full package. It's brilliant.
We're going to reveal our 2026 buses, or at least tease our March bus on April 17th. We'll not go into it tonight because we're still wrapping up pieces of it, and we want to focus on August tonight. We have lots in the works, as you know. We're working on aspects of our whiskey cruise taking place in November. Obviously, we've got this bus in August, and we've got 2 buses at least in 2026. We will have individual monthly experiences in 2026 that'll be rolled out as well. There's lots happening. If you're interested at all in any aspect of it, start a conversation with us so that we can keep you abreast of things. If you say, look, I'm coming to Ireland in X, Y, and Z month, just reach out to us. We'd love to know who's doing what. These are very personal experiences. The people you see on the screen are the people hosting every single experience that we do. So you get access to us, whatever we can do to help you along the way, just reach out and we'd love to chat with you about it. Love to chat with you.
Totally. And as Barry said, the information was on the screen there, the website, irishwhiskeyexperiences.com. You can choose for August to pay in full for a 5% discount, or you can pay monthly at $1,050 dollars as well for the 4 months leading up to the bus. So all the information is on there, the full itinerary, everything we've covered tonight is on the website. And as always, any questions, just email us, email me, email us as a collective, message us. It'll get back to one of us somehow. So
we will have another event to talk more about the cruise, and we have more to share. There's a lot, as you all know, the world is in a bit of tumult at the moment, and it's very affecting the whiskey industry. And so there's lots of decisions are taking longer from brands for certain things. Doesn't affect our ability to put on an amazing cruise, but just bear with us while we make sure that we've got the right things to share with you. As you know, we take our time with dotting the I's and crossing the T's before we bring things to you. So we'll have an event on April 17th to reveal a new focus for 2026 on our whiskey buses, and then most likely in May. We will have, in May, I know we'll be also announcing our September 2026 whiskey bus, and we will share a date with you as well for our whiskey cruise. So there's lots going on, lots of ways to travel with whiskey, which is always good.
Yeah, we'll have all them dates up as well so that people can, when they're planning their holidays, or they can sort of pencil them in for 2026 and further afield as well. So this isn't slowing down. We ain't slowing down. I think some of it, we literally are. I think we'll all agree that we're just fine tuning this the whole time. We're just improving each time, because ultimately what it comes down to is what you guys want, what the guests want, and when they're telling us that they really enjoyed particular parts. I mean, we've tweaked the bus so many times now from the early days. It's been brilliant. And to see the evolution and to see people constantly coming back, I think is what confirms to me and reassures that we're on the right track. We want to put you guys directly in front of the brands. And not only the brands, this isn't like walking into an off license. This is the brand owners, the brand founders, the people who are more passionate about this. I mean, they really do challenge us all the time of how passionate we are about Irish whiskey. So it's great to have you guys on board. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to showcasing what we truly are doing. It's special.
It's going to be great.
Folks,
if you joined late, you missed a portion of this. This is available for replay. As soon as we end this, it'll be available on our YouTube channel. We'll send this out by email. We'll put this on our social media channels, link to it as well, so you can watch the replay as well. And there's one more thing I was going to mention before we go. Can't think of it. No. that was great. Look, any questions, let us know, and we will keep bringing you more great experiences. So, and keep firing shots at Anthony and having him put solar panels on roofs and whatever else we do.
Making him swim.
Yep.
That's it.
I have big shoulders. I can carry it. I'm all right. I'll keep going all day long.
Right, folks. We will end it on that.
Okay.
Sinead, thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks very much, everybody. Sláinte.
Night.
Thank you.